Hi folks, we're going to go over how to access the Hospitality and Tourism Complete database available through our library. This is going to help you find articles related to the chapters as required in the syllabus. I'm going to show the current event article post section of the syllabus. You can see here. You need to find an article from a newspaper or a magazine that pertains to each of the 16 chapters, chapters 1 through 16, in the tourism system that we're going to be using. So with your student ID, you can access these databases that will assist with the process of finding relevant articles. And by that I mean finding a newspaper or a magazine article. And that should be as opposed to, say a academic journal article, which should have a lot of math and whatnot. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a newspaper or magazine, short newspaper or magazine article. You should briefly describe the article and its relation to the chapter in question, and these posts are going to be graded as pass-fail. So no late posts will be permitted. Each one's going to be worth 1% on your final grade. So just make sure you do it by the required time and you'll be good to go. Again, no late posts are going to be admitted. So students need to ensure that they're done as scheduled. And if you look at the table of contents at the bottom of the syllabus, you're going to see the dates for those current event article posts that go sequentially through the course. All right, so let's open up a browser and direct that browser to Stockton's email address. And when you go to the home page for Stockton, if you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see a link for the library. You can see my mouse is pointing there right now. I'm going to click on that. And when you go in there, on the left-hand side, you're going to see databases. So if you click on databases, you can get a full listing of the databases by going to A to Z databases. And look, there's a lot of information in here. Most of them are by subject. There's variations in them. And a lot of them are good. Like you can probably find articles on ABI Inform about any of the topics that we cover in this book. That's a decent one. There's some other ones as well. I think Business Source Premier. The one more I'm going to point you to, though, is Hospitality and Tourism Complete. So if you go to the H's, you can see here, click on the H's, you can see Hospitality and Tourism Complete listed. That covers about 490 publications, including periodicals, company and country reports, and books. So by periodicals, they mean academic journal articles, newspapers, magazines, things that come out periodically, if you will. But not all of those are what you want. So we're going to click on Hospitality and Tourism Complete and actually go into the database. So here we are in the Hospitality and Tourism Complete database, and I could search within here. Chapter 1 deals with the destination mix. One of those destination mix elements is attractions. So let's just do a quick search on attractions. I'm confident there'll be a lot that comes up here. And we can see, indeed a lot does come up. The first several here, though, are academic journal articles. These are, a little bit more intense, if you will, in terms of their subject. They're written by, individuals with PhDs, and they're generally intended for people that are very much interested in research. And so they have a lot of statistics and the like. Not always, but often. This particular one at the top is from the Geo Journal of Tourism and Geosites. Sounds interesting, but for the purposes of this assignment, we want to restrict our search. And we can do that in several ways. The one that's pertinent here is by source type. And what it is we want just trade publications. Trade publications would be like newspapers, magazines. In fact, we could restrict it just to magazines here. It gives us that option as well. But trade publications, I think, is just fine for our purposes. it would include some newspaper articles that we might miss if we just did magazines. What we really want to do is exclude these academic journal articles, and trade publications will do that as well. So let's go ahead and choose trade publications. And you can see now, the types of journals that are supplement Italy focus here is one. Hotel management is another. The travel trade Gazette, UK and Ireland is another. So several here. Find one that you like. Maybe you want to read something about Sydney, Australia. So you can see this one has the full text attached. That's not always the case. You don't always get that lucky. Sometimes you have to request an item through Iliad, and that takes time. So if you're going to do that, do it early. But more likely, what you're going to want to do is limit your search to full text. So you can do that on the left-hand side here. You see the link to it there. I'm just going to select that. All of the first articles in ours had full text available, but this will ensure that that's the case. If you're having a hard time finding an article, you might do that. You can see my current search on the left here includes limiters. That is the full text option. And source types, trade publications, and it looks like my search was attraction. I should have put attractions. But it looks like that's what it picked up anyways. I'm going to go ahead and click on that Sydney article. The PDF for full text will open up. If you have an Adobe browser on your machine, you can always download the article and read it in the browser. If it's more comfortable doing that, you might be able to get some full screen options. In any event, here's my article on For the Love of Sydney. So I'm going to read through this, and I'm going to kind of summarize the article, and I'm going to talk about the article's relationship to the chapter, in this case, Chapter 1, Destination Mix. And I'm just going to make a brief post about the article on the platform. And that's it, folks. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks.